Hi there. This is the first video in a series where we learn how to write code in Rust by writing real programs. I know AI has pretty much taken over the manual side of coding, but I firmly believe that if you're new to programming, it will serve you well in the long run to learn how to code before getting an agent to write code for you. It will help you with solving problems that your agent may introduce, make you better at identifying where you or your agent has gone wrong when writing a particular line of code, and finally, learning how to do things yourself, I think is still pretty cool. But before we can write any code, we need to install the Rust toolchain, and we need to understand the two commands that we're going to type most often or execute most often when working with Rust. By the end of this video, you will have Rust on your machine and a program like this one that compiles and runs. Let's get set up. So we're going to cover four things. Just open up this a little bit more. First, we're going to install Rust with a toolchain called rustup. Secondly, we're going to check that the install worked, because there's no point installing something and not checking that it didn't work. Third, we'll compile a single file by hand so we can see what the compiler does. And finally, we'll use Cargo, which is the build tool and package manager that you're going to use for every Rust project after today. Now, if you've never worked with Rust before, or if you've never programmed before, don't worry. None of this assumes any prior Rust or programming knowledge. Rust is installed through a tool called rustup, which you can find on rustup.rs. What rustup does, it manages your compiler versions and keeps them up to date, so you almost never have to install the compiler directly. Now, there are official scripts for Linux or Mac OS users. I'm running on Windows. So here we would actually download the rustup-init.exe from rustup.rs, and then you could just follow the prompts and choose the default installation when asked. I'm going to skip this for the purpose of this video, but essentially when the installer finishes, you can open up a new terminal because the installer will add Rust to your path, so only a fresh terminal will pick that up. So after that's finished installing on your machine, you can go ahead and confirm that the tools have been properly installed. So the first one is rustc --version, and that's the compiler. So the compiler has been installed successfully. Next, we're going to check Cargo, and that's the build tool. And then finally, we're going to look at rustup. Now, rustup is the version manager. So as you can see, all of those tools have been installed successfully. They've all printed a version number, so you're ready to go. Now, when a new Rust release comes out, you can update everything using a single command, and that is rustup update, not upgrade, update. And if you ever want the documentation offline or to view the documentation offline, you can just go rustup doc, and that will open up the docs or the Rust documentation in your browser. But let's head back to the terminal. And let's start by creating the smallest possible program, compile it by hand just once, just so we can see what is happening underneath. So I'm going to go and create a new file, main.rs, and I'm going to write the following. Let's read this line by line. The fn keyword declares a function, and this function is called main. Now, main is a special name. So in Rust, this is the entry point or the first function that runs. And this is very similar to how a lot of programming languages actually work. Inside this function, we call print line, which prints a line of text. Now notice the exclamation mark here after the print line. That exclamation mark just tells you that this is a macro, not a regular function. Don't worry about what a macro is just yet, but for now, just know that the exclamation mark signals that this is a macro. Now the line ends in a semicolon because this is a statement. So what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to open up the terminal again, get some real estate going here, and we're going to actually compile and run this. So rustc main.rs. That's going to compile my program. So now if I type that, I get hello world. So essentially what happens here is that rustc takes our source file and produces a standalone executable. We run the executable and it's printed hello world. That's the whole compile and run cycle. Now you'll rarely call rustc directly again because Cargo does this for you, which is what we're going to take a look at next. So Cargo is the tool that you're actually going to use day to day. It creates projects, builds them, runs your tests, and also manages any external libraries that your Rust applications will depend on. So let's go ahead and use Cargo to create a project. So I'm going to type cargo new, and I'm going to call this hello world. And let's go ahead and just cd into that. So what Cargo has done, it's made a folder here with two important things. A source directory, which contains our main.rs file, and then also a file called cargo.toml. So let's open that up and just get a little bit more real estate here. Now this is the manifest. So this manifest will record the project name, which is hello world, the version of the project, and which Rust edition we are using. There's also a dependency section, which is currently empty. But when we add a library in a later episode, this is where our dependencies are going to be listed. So I'm just going to open my terminal back up again. Let's just clear that. Clear, not leer. And these are the 4 Cargo commands that you'll use constantly. So to compile and run, we use cargo run. I'm actually going to close my file directory as well, just so we can get more real estate. So there we go. It's run and, well, compiled and run my program. It's just printed hello world. We can also run cargo build to just compile our application. We can also do a type check without producing a binary by running cargo check. And then finally, we can create an optimized build called cargo build -- release. So cargo run builds the project and runs it in one step. If we just want to compile it, we use cargo build. Cargo check is one that beginners overlook quite often. Essentially what it does, it will type check your code without producing an executable. So it's really, really quick. And it's perfect for quickly asking the compiler whether our code is actually valid. And then finally, cargo build -- release produces an optimized build, which you want when you care about speed. But for now, just clear. We can run cargo run and watch our greeting being printed. Hello world. Now, if you're using Visual Studio Code like I am, one extension is going to help you make a real difference. And this is an editor extension called Rust Analyzer. Essentially what this does, it gives you inline error messages, type hints, and auto completion as you type. Learning Rust is a lot smoother when the compiler is actually talking to you inside the editor instead of only in the terminal. So if you're using VS Code, search the extensions panel, which you can find, oh, there it is, and just type in Rust Analyzer, and this is the one that you need. So it will provide Rust language support for Visual Studio Code. Okay, so let's quickly recap what we've covered in this lesson. So you installed Rust with rustup. You confirmed that all the tools work. That was rustc, cargo, and rustup. We compiled a file by hand to see how the compiler works and what it actually does when we compile the program. And we also learned the 4 cargo commands that we're going to lean on heavily from here on. So that was cargo run, cargo build, cargo check, and cargo build release. Now, if you're looking for some practice with Rust, this is a repository that I've used in the past. It's RustLang's Rustlings. And this repository contains a small selection of exercises that you can use to practice Rust with. So I'll just expand that a little bit. There's a lot of concepts that we'll cover in later videos, but right from getting set up all the way to advanced topics such as pointers, macros, things like that. So go ahead and make sure that you clone this and use it to practice your Rust as you go through this series and just in general. Okay, so before we move on to the next video and the next lesson, make sure you can tick off all of these. So make sure that rustc, cargo, and rustup are all installed correctly and they all report a version. Make sure that you can take a standalone Rust file and compile it using the rustc command and make sure it actually runs. And then start to get used to working with cargo. So make sure that you can create a new cargo project and that it runs with cargo run. And make sure you can also explain these different concepts as well. So for example, explaining how cargo check works and how it works differently from cargo build. Once you get comfortable with that, in the next video we're going to be covering the building blocks that every Rust program shares. So these are variables, data types, functions, and control flow. This is the groundwork for everything else, so make sure you don't miss that lesson. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like. If you want to see more of these videos, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.